We have a lot of similarities between Ukrainians and Korean people, because with the Ukrainian society has become a very effective thing on the battlefield. We both fight against communists. We appreciate any help from other countries.
Слава Україні!
I'm the representative of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, and I visited to Korea to share our Ukrainian experience and make connections with Korean people who want to know what's really going on the battlefield of Russian invasion. And of course we have, as a military power, as Ukraine as a state, we have a very deep experience in what the new technologies are used on the battlefield. And of course we have a very wide range of knowledge in any other branches connected to the modern warfare.
So this is the first time you visit Korea?
Yes, this is my first time in Korea, because it's quite far from Ukraine. I can't say that I can know about Korea and Korean people a lot, but on my own opinion, we have a lot of similarities between Ukrainians and Korean people. Because as I noticed it, Korean people are hardworking, and of course we also want to work a lot in Ukraine to make our country better and better. So before the Russian invasion, our economy was growing, and we had a very good level of communication between different parts of Ukraine. I mean, a lot of things, high technology things, and a lot of growing industries. I was a civilian before the war. I was a writer, a fiction writer, and I was professional writer. And my books were translated to foreign languages. I won a lot of literature contests in Ukraine and Europe, but I graduated from the university as an engineer in my years. And in the Ukrainian system of education, we have possibility to have education, part of our education, and universities as possible to do as an military officer. So it's useful in case of future conflicts. And when a Russian invasion started, I was freely mobilized. I mean, I was a volunteer and mobilized to Ukrainian armed forces since the beginning of Russian full-scale invasion. Actually, the Russian war against Ukraine started in 2014, but it was a low-scale conflict when Russia seized Crimea Peninsula. But after the full-scale invasion, of course, every Ukrainian who is a patriot of our country should participate in this countering of Russian army and Russian propaganda. So in general, our society was ready, but of course I realized, for example, that it's impossible to be ready for a war. When a friend of mine called me in early morning, 24th of February 2022, I was surprised because he said it happened. And immediately after that I heard the Russian missiles explosions in my city, in Kyiv city. So we had a plan before what to do, and we went to Kyiv because I'm living outside the city on the country yard. So I had a lot of emotions because I saw a lot of civilian people fleeing out, escaping the city with cages, with animals, with cats, with dogs, a lot of cars, civilian cars, trying to avoid Russian troops. All the roads were filled with civilians, cars, and people just going out from the city. I will never forget that. So it was, of course, for civilian people, for average life, the foreign invasion, it's a great stress and the great tragedy. Of course, Ukraine had an experience how to counter the Russian troops since 2014, since the hybrid Russian invasion, when they used their allies in eastern part of Ukraine, and of course a lot of their allies was just Russians who were penetrated through the Ukrainian borders. So our military forces was not newcomers to such a kind of hostilities. But of course, the other major roles, the very important role played by Ukrainian society, because with the Ukrainian society has very highly developed horizontal structure. So our Ukrainian society has a lot of NGOs and a network of people who are helping each other, and it makes the counter more effective than just a vertical structure only. And of course, Ukrainians we had an experience how to be under the Russian power during the Russian Empire, Imperium, and the Soviet Union as Union epoch. So we know that the Russian power is just feminine and a lot of pain for Ukrainian people. So there were no choice for us. The Russian invasion, it's a major threat for Ukrainian nation, Ukrainian culture, and Ukrainian as a part of world community. So a lot of people were involved since the very first hours of the full-scale invasion. Of course, we had some experience with using drones on the battlefield before the Russian invasion, the full-scale invasion. And we, of course, were able to estimate that drones will play a very important role, because it's a kind of asymmetrical warfare. And drones are low-costing in comparison with, for example, armored vehicle, such as tank, for example. The average price of a drone is about $500, from $500 to $1,000 per drone. But in comparison, the Russian main battle tank T-90 costs more than $2.5 million. So the difference in price is more than 5,000 times. And you can use such 1 to 3 drones to destroy the tank. So of course we were able to calculate and start the development of, for example, first-person view drones. It became a very effective thing on the battlefield. And of course, Ukraine is a big European country, it's a huge territory, but we are in times less in territory, resources and population in comparison with Russia. So it was very important to us to use asymmetrical kind of warfare. Ukrainian drones attack was so effective. At the moment we have more than 27,000 armored vehicles destroyed by Ukraine. This not by drones only, but in total. But it's very high number. It's a huge number, and Russians tried to find some ways to protect their armored vehicles. They used cages to protect the main armor against the jet flow from the drones' ammunition. And they used also rubber covers to protect tanks. Of course, it's important improvement. So we can spend more drones per each armored vehicle, per each machine, but we are still able to destroy such machines, because our drone tactic and strategy also changed and adjusted to their way of protection. So in any case, this is a process of improvement, mistakes, and overcoming. This war is not only a European conflict or some local conflict in the world. The main difference of the Russian full-scale invasion to Ukraine from the other local conflicts will show other dictatorships what to do in the future in case Putin invaded Ukraine and he will be successful. So the international humanitarian law, international system of security will be completely destroyed. It means that no one country will not feel safe because, for example, their neighbors want to obtain their territory, their resources, so on. And this will open a very, very dangerous path in the future in case of the Putin wins the war. And every country should increase their money they spend, the amount of money they spend to the armed forces. So teachers, doctors, engineers will obtain less money because this money will be needed for the armed forces to protect of every country. And of course it means that the nuclear weapon will be a thing that can defend every country, because you know that Ukraine had after the Soviet Union crash, we had a nuclear weapon and we gave it to the international community under the safety guarantees. So it looks like the safety guarantees is worth nothing. So every country should want to have some serious weapons to protect itself. And the future world will be, in case of Putin's overcoming Ukraine, the future world can be a very dangerous place where a lot of countries want to increase their armed forces, to have nuclear weapon, and the economy, the global economy will stop their development, and every people will be affected by that. So it's very important for all countries to support for democratic forces, to support Ukraine to be hardened against Russian invasion. And of course, we can see now that Russian Federation allies such as North Korea, such as Iranian regime, helping them a lot with their weapon. Iranian Shahids are well-known drones, and also North Korean ammunition were sent to Russia to help them defeat Ukraine. So in case other world will be separated, it means that it's weak, and it's into the future it will be very difficult to protect itself. In any case, the informing of the outer world about what really happens in Ukraine is very important for us. We know that Russians spend a huge amount of money to propaganda. The propaganda became a new kind of war, because it's in case it's possible to brainwash as people, some society, so there is no need to capture their territory, because they became your allies. And Russians understood that very well, and their propaganda is very proficient. So, of course, Ukraine has less resources, and of course, we realize that there is no, it's a bad way, and no need to create our own propaganda. It's a wrong way. So we created a lot of resources helping us to say real situation in Ukraine, how it looks like, to allow other people in the world to understand what really happens. So we sharing as lot information as it possible to different countries, and we sharing a lot of facts, a lot of videos from the battlefield, and of course we making movies, documentary movies about the Russian war crimes, for example, about the way they treat our prisoners of war, a lot of war crimes, and of course international journalists can visit Ukraine freely and prepare their materials. It's very important for us. So for our way of informing the world about us is to produce free content. A lot of journalists, a lot of NGOs can visit us and have access to the almost every area of Ukraine, even the battlefield. And of course, it's sometimes it's dangerous. We realize that, so on the journalist responsibility. But of course, for us, it's very important to be transparent. And such YouTube channels, media channels, and foreign journalists visiting Ukraine are helping us to describe our stories to the world, the real story of the fight for the freedom. We faced Russian propaganda influence even almost after Ukraine obtained their independence in 1991. They produce, you should know that they have so-called troll farms, where a lot of people with knowledge of different languages are producing millions of comments to different social media, for example. And now they use it also artificial intelligence to do that. And a significant part of accounts in different social media around the world are just generated bots and passing fake news. We know that, for example, Russia supported the conspiracy theories. Oh well, and of course they for now they are trying to influence international society, they should be tired to support Ukraine. This support Ukraine is very hard and economically useless. And they also share information that international sanctions, economical sanctions, are not useful, and Russia can bypass it successfully, so it will not influence Russia. In reality, it looks different. We know that economical sanctions work not so fast as we expected, but they are working, and increasing sanctions can decrease the economic potential of Russia for selling their oil and gas and other natural resources. And it can influence on the future decreasing of their support of Russian army. Also, they have huge losses on the battlefield. I mean, not only losses of weapon, but also manpower. At the moment, it's unbelievable. Since the Second World War, such a full-scale war in Europe, where hundreds of thousands of Russian troops were defeated. And of course, it's very difficult for Russian propaganda to hide this information. And we know that the flow of the people to the Russian army is less and less every month, because nobody wants to die or be heavily injured. So Russia tries to share information among other countries to obtain foreign mercenaries and pay them some money to participate on the battlefield, but they are very bad trained, and they are actually cannon meat. We have this term, cannon meat. They are dying on the battlefield every day, and every day huge losses can't be for a long period. It will be stopped. And so Russian propaganda tries to hide some information. The Republic of Korea is very important for us because the Korean people know what to have such an aggressive neighbor, and of course Korean people have a lot of experience, and they are hardworking, and they have the same challenges as Ukrainians before the Russian full-scale invasion and now. And of course, we know we had a very deep collaboration before the full-scale invasion. A lot of Ukrainians know Honda, cooperation. For example, Korean trains are covering a lot of roads on Ukrainian territory, and they are well known by Ukrainians. And of course, we know other Korean companies in Ukraine, and of course, in general, Ukrainian people know about Korea, and of course, we can collaborate and we can share our knowledge, our experience, and brand new technologies. And of course, South Korea as a part of the free world, and Ukrainians who are fighting for freedom against Russians can have a very common basis to negotiate and to agree and to help each other. Since the full-scale invasion of Russia, we are looking for allies all around the world, and of course it's not just one-way cooperation. So we are looking in allies in every part of the world, and we are so far from each other, but we are common in our major strategic aims. So it's a very important role for us that Korean people can have a lot of experiences and trainings and a lot of collaboration with Ukrainian, for example, Korean engineers can to collaborate with Ukrainian engineers. Korean culture, people of culture can collaborate with Ukrainian culture society, and it will be very important penetration of each culture and economy to each other, because Ukraine also, it's a very big market. Our territory is among the largest territory of countries in Europe. We are a European country, and we are developing brand new systems, brand new electronic government, and a lot of things that helping us to make our life better and better. For example, we have new transport system, new payment system, so on, so on. So I guess it will be very good for us, for both of us. We appreciate any help from other countries. It's very important for us, and even humanitarian help during the first stage of the Russian invasion was very important for us. Of course, it's already third year of Russian full-scale invasion, so our needs changed. So at the moment, Ukraine needs not only humanitarian help. We need weapon, long-range weapon, air defense system to protect our sky, because there's such a huge war and such a huge Russian resources can overcome Ukrainian resources. We can't be alone in the world. Of course, it's not just one-way road. We can propose a lot of our knowledge, experience, and technologies, because we are experienced in a lot of branches, and our experience and knowledge, Korean companies can save a lot of time, blood, and lives. Work with Ukrainian authorities, Ukrainian engineers, Ukrainian society, to have a full understanding of modern warfare, and modern conflict, modern strategies and tactics on the battlefield. Of course, the historical facts and historical surrounding is common for Ukraine and for Korea too, because we both fight against communists. And of course, Korean people know that the only help from international society help them to protect the part of the country from communist threat, from the regime of the totalitarian regime. So it was the international support was played a very important role in that. And of course, similarities are between Russian imperialistic invasion and the historical Korean War. And a lot of years passed, but of course the contemporary world we should have lessons of the Korean War, and should know that they need to support. The democratic countries should support each other against totalitarian regimes. I hope it will be quite soon. Of course, at the moment it's very difficult to have some forecasts, but in case Ukraine will have international support, so we will protect our territory against Russian invasion. And of course, when I will visit Korea from the peaceful country, our flight will be from not from our neighbors, but from Kyiv. I hope I will just say thank you, Korea, for your support. Thank you, Korean people, for your great help. And in common, both we overcome this huge enemy, and we made our future more safe and more rich and full of happiness.
So thanks for visiting Korea and this time for interview.
Thank you so much for your interest. It's very important for us, and for your support too, because any interest and support is significant for us. And thank you very much for your work.
I want to say thanks for Ukraine. Слава Україні!
Героям слава, Камсахам не дам.